Hey, Francisco, how's it going?
Going pretty well. How you doing, Manny?
Not too bad. Excited about today's stream. Somebody posted in the comments that the title has a big promise. So
I saw that.
I was like, "Oh, no pressure, Francisco," but I think that's fair. That's a hot title right there, and I'll let you guys and gals in the chat decide whether or not we deliver today. Let me know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen some of the early demos. I saw some of the previews, obviously, that went out yesterday, which were exciting. I think it's going to be a good one. But yeah, very excited to be here. Thank you all so much for joining. So excited to be here along with Manny, our Replit ambassador, and soon to be a bigger part of Replit overall. Very excited for something coming soon. And then also just, yeah, great to see everybody. Francisco, head of community here, and excited to kind of support our different community members around the world. But yeah, today we have a really great live stream coming up soon, and excited to kind of dive in. Already seeing a couple of questions coming in around the community side of things. Yes, we have a public discourse. I'll send out an email after this stream, and also be dropping it in once we kick off here. It's a little bit of different resources, events, upcoming things that are always happening. We just wrapped up our happy hour in Lisbon for all of you that attended on Web Summit. Thank you all so much for joining. Saw a lot of folks from the community kind of diving in there. We have a hackathon this upcoming Saturday at YC that we're currently getting different applicants for. And last week I talked about a potential Foster City headquarter meetup, and I'm happy to kind of announce that that'll be going out very, very soon for the first week of December. That Thursday, I believe, is the 4th. So if you're in the Bay Area and like to join, please let us know. For the rest of the folks that may be somewhere around the world, there'll be a Discourse link going out soon, which is kind of like our internal community of builders around the world. But with that, I'll pass it over to Manny to take it away.
Yes, thank you very much. Super excited about today's stream. Somebody mentioned, got a big headline here, build with 300 plus AI models, one prompt, zero setup, one bill. Really excited to be talking about Replit's latest feature, AI integrations. This is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time, and so really happy to be chatting about it today. If you've been following along with us, the theme of our streams has been that we are all builders now, and this divide of technical versus non-technical, it is going away. So that means that if you're in sales, you're in marketing, you're in HR, you're in finance, it doesn't matter. You get to build now with AI and with tools like Replit, your own custom applications, your own custom workflows. Never easier than ever to do that. And I'm just amazed as to what I'm seeing folks build. People that are completely new to software development, have never touched a line of code in their life, and they're showing me what they're building, and I am continually blown away. So this theme continues to stick. We're going to modify it a little bit today because of what I'm going to show you. But yes, that's the theme. We are all builders now. You're all builders now. And for me, this really got crystallized on last week's stream. So in case you missed it, we were talking to sales guys that have no coding background, and we're talking to them about what they were building. And we had Jacob Furneaux here. He just started at Replit 2 weeks ago as a salesperson, a go-to-market leader. And in those 2 weeks, he built a custom AI training simulator that was just the highlight of last week's stream. We'll drop a link to the recording. You have to go check it out, but it was so cool. And here's what Jacob had to say about building his own custom application.
I have no coding experience. I've never written a line of code, actually maybe hello world one time in HTML, but really just a business major who has a passion and a good ideas that come from the challenges that go-to-market leaders face every day. And you just take those challenges and in natural language, you put in a prompt, and boom, you have an application that solves a $100,000 problem.
And for me, the thing that stuck out for me was the fact that his demo had a lot of AI capabilities built in. So he had this sort of this workflow of talking to AI, and AI was talking back to him as a salesperson, trying to get the prospect to listen to the pitch, and the AI came across as somewhat rude and in a hurry. So you had to really work hard to get the AI to get engaged on the call. And so that was a lot of AI built into that demo, built in 2 hours. And again, 2 weeks into Replit. And so the modification that I'm making today is that, yes, we are all builders now, but we're also all AI builders now. With Replit's new AI integrations, it's never been easier to integrate AI services into your custom applications in your workflows. And if you've been paying attention, almost every one of your favorite SaaS tools and applications are rolling out new AI features. This is a big deal. AI is a supercharger for almost any application. And up until now, you've needed to have a team of AI engineers, a lot of expertise to be able to tap into that. But with Replit Agent and now with Replit AI integrations, it's now easier for you as a non-technical person, as a new builder, to start interweaving these AI services into your applications and into your workflows. So let's talk a little bit about what you can do with AI in your applications. I have a couple of examples here, but obviously people are familiar with writing in text. So think about AI creating new blog posts for you, generating emails, generating summaries off of long reports. I use AI a ton for this. So like I have a workflow where if there's a video that I like, I'll grab the transcript from the video and have AI automatically summarize that for me. So it could be a 2-hour long video, but boom, I have a summary in 5 minutes that I can quickly read. Code generation. If you want to do translations between different code bases, if you want to identify a bug, if you want a code review, there's AI model that will help you do that. Image generation. I'm sure you've seen this. It's been very popular, but if you want to generate an image, say if you want to go from like your photo to a professional looking photo for your LinkedIn, you can build that. You can build product mockups. You can build social media visuals. And I actually have an example of this in one of my demos later on in the stream. Vision and OCR. This has actually been a major use case for a lot of business applications. I've seen this in a lot of parts of my different career, but the idea is that if you have documents, images, PDFs, you want to extract entities from those documents. So it could be a receipt, it could be a document, it could be a report, and you want to extract all the information and parse that and put that into a database. AI can help you with that. Lately, we have video generation models that are getting really, really good. I've actually seen a couple of ads that have been rolled out, but some pretty big companies that are AI generated. So there's a lot more that's going to be happening in this space. And then, of course, you have audio and voice. In Jacob's demo last week, he showed you how he was talking to AI and it was coaching him on how to talk to a prospect. You can have personal voice assistants. You can have podcast generators. There's so much that you can do with AI in your applications. And again, this historically, you needed an AI engineering team to do this, not the case with Replit. And let me tell you why this has been a little bit tough for new builders and non-technical people. When you think about adding AI to your applications, one of the first things that you have to think about is, okay, which AI? So for example, if I want to build a writing application, I'm going to turn to Anthropic and one of their Sonnet models to do that. If I want a really high quality image generation feature in my application, I might leverage OpenAI's DALL-E to do that. If I want an image generation feature that's really fast and snappy, then I might turn to Google's Nano Banana model for that. If I want something that is going to pull real-time information, I might turn to Grok for that. So the initial hurdle here is that you have to have some familiarity with all of these different models to think about which one of those models you want to incorporate into your application. The other big hurdle is that once you've identified the model that you want, you then have to go to that model provider, go to the development portal, set up a new account, set up your credit card, get an API key. Grab that API key and store it somewhere. And then you also have to track the billing for all of those different providers. So you might have an application where you're pulling in an OpenAI model and an Anthropic model and a Grok model. Well, to manage each one of those accounts, you have to go to each one of those providers and handle those individually. No longer the case with Replit AI integrations. Number one is that working with Agent, Agent will help you identify what is the best model for the feature that you're after. So I go back to the Jacob's demo. He didn't know that he had to leverage an OpenAI model. He pretty much told Agent the functional thing he wanted the app to do, which is have a conversation with a prospect like type of AI, and Agent identified the OpenAI model to use and integrate it into the application. The other cool thing here is that now Jacob no longer has to go to OpenAI, set up an account, and get an API key. Replit automatically handles that and then passes that authentication into the application directly and passes the billing for that model directly into Replit. So what you use for that model goes directly into your Replit bill, making it super, super easy. So all combined, why I'm really pumped about this new feature is that it's going to make it faster for you to build applications, and especially AI-powered applications. It's super convenient. You don't have to go and log into a new portal, get an API key, and bring it into your instance. And the billing is just like super easy. It's just all in one place. And it's overall safer because you don't have to manage these API keys and put them somewhere, save them in a text file on your local machine, or be concerned that they're going to get leaked in one of your GitHub commits or something to that effect. And so to drive this home, I was building out this demo for today, and I'm leveraging a Google image generation model. So let's look at the traditional, right? So the traditional route, I would go here, I would go to Google's website. I would have to set up a new project. I have to set up an API key. I have to come back into my local machine. I got to park that somewhere, and then I can finally start using that service. No longer the case with AI integrations. Now, as soon as you identify the model or the service that you want, or the model that Agent has identified to be appropriate for your build, you're just going to get this pop-up, and you're going to just confirm that you want to integrate that, and boom, you're off. You're off and running. And if you decide that you would also want to integrate Anthropic, no problem, one click. If you want OpenAI, no problem, one click, much, much easier. So that today I'm going to show you 3 builds that I had fun building yesterday that shows the new AI integrations in action. We're going to talk about an AI writing assistant. And again, that's going to be with Anthropic because I like Anthropic's models for writing. I think they're the best writers. I also am going to demo a receipt reader that will extract entities from both PDFs and images. I know we've been having issues with PDF extraction and parsing. I saw that in the stream chat last week, so I wanted to build something for that. So if if you had those comments last week, definitely chime in. I would love to hear what you think about this. And I have an ad creator app that I built using Gemini's image generation model, which I'm pretty pumped about. So with that, before I jump into the demos, Francisco, any comments in the chat that we want to bring up and address?
No, I think people are really, really excited. Some of the questions that they had have already been answered in your thorough kind of work through here. So we appreciate it. And a couple of different things. One, really quickly, Manny mentioned, using AI to be able to create summaries, emails, and like, transcription. And one of the things I want to mention is that actually every comment that we have during our live streams, we are actually kind of trying to keep track of, because we kind of summarize and share with our internal feedback team. And a lot of times what we're seeing is these little small tweaks that we kind of get from these streams do end up, shaping, the final features and releases over here at Replit. So please feel free to drop in any questions specific to this chat or specific to kind of the Replit tool itself. We will be keeping an eye on it. And of course, as many have asked, there will be also a recording at the end. So please dropping them in. I'll be checking them out. And yeah, very excited to kind of continue kicking off here. I'll pass it back over to Manny.
Perfect. I'm seeing this come up quite a bit in the stream. What is the pricing? Here's the good news. We're pretty much passing on the rate that is quoted by the individual providers and just passing that along to your Replit bill. So you're not paying anything additional to use the service, which is bonkers to me. So if you go on to like say like OpenAI, like and I'll pull up my screen in a moment. OpenAI models pricing. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the API pricing for OpenAI. This is the same pricing that you're going to get in Replit. So we're not charging you anything additional to use this service, which is to me is amazing. So to answer your question, the pricing is pretty much what you use for these individual model providers, and we're just passing that on to your Replit bill. Now, you do have to have a paid account on Replit. That's because we have to, we need to have a card to charge the usage to. So that's the only caveat, that this isn't available for the free plans. It's available for the paid accounts, in particular teams and enterprise, and the core account as well being paid. But I just think that's amazing. Like, you're pretty much, you're paying the same thing you would be paying if you were to go to these individual model providers and set up the account on yourself. There's no additional charge on that, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Somebody's saying excellent here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just like bonkers. It's just yeah, pretty much no other fees. Yeah, no, exactly. The rate that you get charged by Grok, by OpenAI, by OpenRouter, that's just being passed along. You're just paying for usage. I think we should have led with this, Francisco.
All good.
Yeah, I got to add that additional bullet point to the copy. Like, no extra fees. You pay by usage, directly from the model provider. Very neat. Let's see here. Any other comments or questions on that front?
No, I think we're good. I think, yeah, answered it pretty thoroughly. I'll continue to kind of monitor the chat, and yeah, feel free to kind of swing them on over. Hey, Raymar, good to see you.
What's up, Raymar? From Argentina. Nice. Very neat. Okay, cool. Keep dropping your questions in the chat. I also am very curious to hear what you would be interested in building. So drop, maybe in the chat, drop some of the builds that you've done on Replit that are using AI services. And then also, as you follow along with the stream, I'm curious to hear what type of ideas are coming to mind for you, what you would like to build. And this is also your opportunity to engage with the rest of the community. We have some top tier Replit users in the chat right now. So if you have a question or if you have an idea, drop it in there, because chances are that one of those top builders is going to see it and going to comment on it. So I would encourage you to do that. Okay, so with that, let's get into our first build. So as I mentioned, I really like Anthropic for writing, and I like to, create my own custom apps. And one thing that I've been trying to do is to improve my writing, and I want to have like a very kind of chill way to do that. So what I've built here is Aura Writer, my own custom AI writing assistant that allows me to focus on what I'm writing, but also gives me cool suggestions on what I might add to my overall text. So let me just say, let's just start here with the demo, and I can say building with AI, and I might go here and say like, hey there, it's never been easier to build with AI, and then I'm going to hit tab twice, tab. And what you see here, and let me zoom in here, is a suggestion. So it's kind of like looking at the text, and it's suggesting what I should write next. So I'll just hit tab on there, and it drops it automatically in the doc. Isn't that cool? So again, so with powerful APIs there too. Yeah. Replit's new AI integration feature makes this so cool and easy. Tab. Let's see what, okay, maybe I'm stuck. Okay, cool. To implement Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll drop that in there, and let's drop it in the quotation marks. We'll take that out. Too easy to implement. You can now add chatbots, image generation, semantic search to your projects. So I think I've just eliminated the code start problem when I'm trying to write something new, and writer's block as well. So because I could always go here like and then do a tab here, like what should be my next paragraph? Yeah, so like let's drop that in there, and say the platform handles all the complex infrastructure so you can focus on building great user experiences. That's spot on. I probably would write that as well. So that's the first feature here, is just eliminate writer's block, eliminate the code start problem. And again, I have this very like simplistic, minimalistic type of environment. This is how I like to write. I just like to turn off my notifications to just write here. The other cool thing here is that I can highlight something, and I can say like, hey, like I want you to rewrite this. I want you to make this more professional. I want you to make this more casual, or I want you to expand it. So let's make this more casual. And so now this is going to get sent back and automatically put it back in. So now it's Replit doing it. Feature makes it super cool and crazy, easy to set up. Now you can throw in chatbots, image generation, semantic search in your project without needing to be some sort of AI wizard. Perfect. I don't think I would add as an exclamation mark right there. So I just think this is like such a cool, handy tool. I think I'll be using this when I want to get down to write something, maybe write a blog post, or maybe write a Twitter thread or something. I think this would be super useful. And you can also see how you might, accommodate this. Like if I wanted to create a social media writer, for example, like copy that goes to LinkedIn into X. Because one thing that I do is I'll post to LinkedIn and X, and I change the copy. So like LinkedIn tends to be a little bit more professional. X tends to be a little bit more casual. So I can have a writing system where I put in the text that I want to have rewritten, and then have a LinkedIn version, and have an X version, have a version for Reddit, have a version for our forums, all just with one prompt. So with that, I'll jump in the chat and see if there are any questions here.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a couple different folks who are interested in the community program. Thank you so much for letting me know. One thing is I do get a lot of LinkedIn inbound. So if you do send me a LinkedIn request, please drop in your YouTube username or Twitter username just so I can recognize you. Cognito Coding, I've seen you here, and we'll for sure will connect with you. We're definitely looking to kind of expand a little bit more across Europe in general. So yeah, if anyone else is interested in being part of our ambassador program, please feel free to send me a note on LinkedIn here, or even just reply to the emails via Luma. We always check all of those out, and I'm always kind of responding to those as we go along.
Very neat. People seem to be digging it. Yeah. Mindfulness app. Yeah, absolutely. And so the way that I set this up is I pretty much just put it, I dropped in the prompt, and I just specified that I wanted to use Anthropic's models for it. That was pretty much it. Replit agent picked the model to use, and then also automatically connected to Anthropic. So I don't have any API keys. So typically what you would find is you would have in secrets, you would have an API key here, but I don't have that. Or I guess, okay, this is Replit automatically putting in their own API key, but I didn't have to do this. This is being managed by Replit directly. And again, leveraging Anthropic's models to do that, super, super fun to do. And there's so many use cases that you can do that are connected. I will, in the follow-up email, I will be providing a link to this template so that you can have this and you can remix it. And I would love to see how you change it up, how you make it your own. And if you do, make sure you post about it on X and LinkedIn and tag me and Francisco. So let me check out the comment stream here.
I have a couple different projects that we're seeing come across here. One from Amy, building a global collaboration event building platform powered by open source tools and built on next generation of AI integrated development. I would definitely talk to Raymar. Raymar's like building some incredible stuff on like the event platform side as well, which has been really cool to see. He might be in the chat. If not, you see him all over Twitter as well. We also have Ryan, who's building a smart journal tool that helps fathers see the relationships, family, community, and shows up genuinely, powered by OpenAI and custom RAG, one actually tracking, improving MLMs. Intel. This is amazing. Really, really cool to see. Awesome to kind of see some of these familiar apps that are kind of like popping up. Sanjeet is also part of our community who's doing something similar, which is always great. And designer up, Elizabeth, I built a design portfolio that you can chat with by highlighting any part and asking it questions. Cost about $7. Took me an hour. Full video tutorial and remix file on my channel. Awesome. Elizabeth, we will be connecting shortly after this for sure. I love to hear more about it. But yeah, some awesome kind of projects that people are working on currently.
And also, Francisco, if I could just say, like, I know there's a lot of folks that are interested in the ambassador program. Like, when you post things like that, like, I think you move to the top of the list, right? So, like, one way to like stand out in Francisco's LinkedIn inbound is share your projects, drop them in the chat, share them on X, share them on LinkedIn. I know we're connecting with a lot of people that way, where we see them building with Replit, sharing it, and it could just be like a quick demo of what they're building or a video of them building something. And that's just a great way for us to see you and to stand out. So definitely encourage you to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, always around. Feel free to send me a message, also on Luma. And yeah, always looking for more folks for the ambassador program.
Very neat. All right, so keep dropping your ideas, what you've built in the chat, and your questions. Now, I want to show you demo number 2. Okay, this is not, I think, as cool, but this is super functional. This is a use case that I've seen almost at every company that I've worked at, being in the AI space. Like some time ago, I was working with industrial companies, and they had different service tickets that they had to scan and pull out information from, like the servicing on a machine, the parts that were used, and that was handwritten or a PDF or an image. And so we spent a lot. I think I had like a team of 10 data scientists working on that project alone to do that. And yesterday, I vibe coded this in an hour. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's definitely in that right direction. It just, to me, continually blows my mind what we can do today with tools like Replit versus what I've been trying to do in my career. It's pretty insane. Okay, this also came up in last week's stream. People were having trouble with parsing PDFs. So the idea here is, if you have a PDF, you want to load it, you want to extract information from it. So I have a receipt and invoice parser. I think of yourself as maybe like an entrepreneur, and you're getting invoices and you're getting receipts, and you want to be able to extract the information from this and pass it along to your accounting system or some other system. Maybe you want to pass it along to QuickBooks, to HubSpot, or something. How do you do that if you have an image? Okay, so let me go here and let me process another receipt. So I'm going to browse files here, and I'm going to pull in an image of a receipt to start us off. And so it's going to analyze that. And so right now what it's doing, it's sending this image to OpenAI, and it's extracting out the information. So it's a little bit harder to see. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here we have the receipt here, and now I've extracted the vendor name, the date, the total amount, taxes, and then also all of the items that are listed here, which I think is pretty cool. And I can even delete this if I don't think that's what I see on the receipt. So pretty straightforward example. Have an image, extract the information. And this could get more complicated. Like, for example, I've worked on use cases in the past where we've had medical documents or professional documents, and like throughout the document entities that you want to extract, maybe like a diagnosis or a medication that was used, you can build something like that to automatically scan documents and pull that out and score that. Somebody said no taxes here. It's right. There is no taxes here. That would be nice. Okay, so that's an image. And what's cool about this is that I'm using 2 separate AI vendors for this application. For the image, I found that OpenAI's model best for this, so I use OpenAI. But then I ran into a problem doing PDFs with OpenAI, and I found out that OpenAI doesn't support PDF. No problem. I can switch over to Google. Google's models do support PDF. So let me process another document here. This time I've got a more realistic invoice, and this is a PDF. And so now what's happening in the back end, my application is recognizing and it's sending it to Google's image models rather than OpenAI. So here is the invoice, and now you can see here's the new vendor name, date, and now we do have taxes. So we have taxes here, and then we have the itemized item here as well. So it's nice that you can see the PDF here, and it's nice that you can extract out all of this information. So somebody said, "Great, yeah." When I got this to work, I thought this was so cool. And again, I've been in AI for a long time. I've been, I've delivered some like big systems, and this 5 years ago was super, super hard. And again, I was able to vibe code this in an hour yesterday. To me, that's just so exciting. Somebody's asking about HIPAA compliance. Um, I think that's a good question. And I think there's like a whole procedure that you have to follow to build out HIPAA compliance in your application. This, like right out of the gate, I would not classify this as HIPAA compliant. Definitely would not. This is just kind of a tool, a demo. But my sense is that you could build something in Replit that would be HIPAA compliant. You just have to follow like a number of different steps, but this itself would not be HIPAA compliant. There's like a whole procedure and a whole process you have to follow for that. So definitely would encourage you to check that out. Sam says crazy. Yeah, isn't that nuts, Sam? Totally. Amy saying, I love innovation opens the doors for a lot of people. Absolutely. And again, I probably, I had a large team of data scientists, and I would say like I had like 10 data scientists working on something similar for a big, large enterprise project that we were building 5 years ago. Sam saying it's not easy. Sam, you've probably been in the game for a while. You're recognizing this too. Like for us now doing this, it's trivial, but 3 years ago, this would be like super, super hard. And I think what's coming together is two things. One, we have the AI models now. So the fact that you have vision models in OpenAI and now Google is awesome. Like you can go into ChatGPT, you can put in an image, and you can extract information to it. So the fact that we have those AI models is amazing. Number two is that now they're easily accessible to us in an API type of format. So I can call this from my application API, and now I have the power of Google's models that they've invested billions of dollars in developing, maybe not billions, but like a lot of money in developing, and OpenAI's models that they've invested a ton of money in developing. And now I have this as an API call, and this probably cost me like 3 cents, 2 cents. It's crazy. And then the third major trend that you're seeing here is the fact that you have Replit and Replit's agent that allows me to do all of the backend, all of the coding, and automatically integrate this into my application and launch it and show me the UI, show me the backend, have a database set up, all under an hour. So 3 amazing trends that it just continually blows my mind of what you're able to do as a builder, as a new builder, as a non-technical person. But even if you're a technical person, you see this and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And like, this is like a dream.
Yeah, it just continues to get easier, right? And we have all these examples of folks kind of joining the stream that don't really quite have, a technical background or any, honestly, engineering experience in the past that have been able to create such incredible projects as they move along. And in here already, again, even from Stephen Lewis, I built an AI-powered flip intelligence to make smarter flip real estate decisions with instant market analysis, comps, and deal calculations, powered by MLS data and advanced AI. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen that in a couple instances where, like you might be an interior designer and you want a client to send you an image of their place, and you might want to pass it through an AI model and say like, take this image and add like trim to it, or have the colors be this green, or add a table over here, and boom, you automatically get the ideas. And so it's probably not going to be the final thing that you send to the client, but it's going to give you so many ideas and quickly give you a visual clue as to whether or not you're on the right direction. So that's a really cool use case. Anthony's saying, strap in. Oh, man, and then this is only getting better and better. The models are getting better. Replit agent is getting better. And then we're also continually adding new features that makes it easier and easier. This past couple of weeks, we've been talking about connectors. So an easy way to tap into tools and applications you're using, like Salesforce and HubSpot. Today, we're talking about AI integrations, easy way to tap into 300 plus AI models. And so we're going to get continually better and better. So pumped for this. Okay, very neat. All right, so let me move on to my third demo. And I think I've seen a couple of questions around image generation. I want to show you my third demo, and then I'm sure that's going to spark some more conversation. And again, as we go, I want you to drop in your ideas in the chat, share them with people, even if it is kind of like maybe like maybe not fully fleshed out. Like share it, and let me see it. I may respond to it, and have the community respond to it as well. Okay, demo number 3. All right, so as you know, these past couple weeks, the big theme is that. Oh, let me share my screen. One sec. Demo number 3. Okay, so the big theme for us these last couple of streams is that we are all builders now, and I hope you can see that. I hope you can see how pumped I am about that. And so I was thinking, like, it would be cool to have some merch around that. You walk around, you're like, yeah, I'm a builder now. I'm in build mode now. So I went ahead and designed a hat that I would want to wear. And so this is my build mode hat. So pretty much just a hat, says build mode on it. Okay, so now I have a merch store. Okay, great. Now I have to market my merch. So I have to create ads. I have to create copy. I have to put that on Instagram. Well, creating the ad is actually pretty tough. I have to go and design that. No longer the case with Ad Creative Generator. Now you can build your own ads super easy. You can determine whether or not you want it to be a standalone product on a person. You can target an audience. You can target a gender. You can add a persona. You can add some text. Let me add a little exclamation mark there, and you can even change the design. So I'm going to change this to, let's go with minimalist and clean. Let's see what happens. And generate that ad. And so now what's happening is I have two Google Gemini models that are working in the background. One model to take in all of the information that I've given it and to understand what I wanted to build. And then a Google image generation model that's going to take all of that information and create an image for it. So here you go. So we did minimalist, 25% off winter, build mode hat, boom. I can copy paste this, post it on Instagram, post this on X. Let's switch it up. Let's target female. Let's go with on person. And then let's make it natural and organic. All right. So somebody wants to be out in the woods, vibe coding. I think that's totally cool. So let's see what we get with this configuration. And in the meantime, let me look.
Got some really cool ones. So just like people getting excited about just what is possible here. Amy, I was just thinking if only I could tell something what I want to build, and I will just make it. And sure enough, here it is. Feels like magic, really. And again, we're seeing these over and over again. And I mean, even just with this demo, right? Manny showed me a little early version of it, and it's incredible to see kind of like what he's built here. But yeah, Manny, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, so you can see here, like, okay, build mode, natural, organic. Again, my copy here, the copy looks good. This is all AI generated. Text looks good. I can even like add like a little logo here. So I'd love to hear in the chat, how would you? I have some suggestions in terms of how I would make this better, how I would improve this, but I'd love to hear what you would do for this demo in terms of like taking it to the next level.
And then one question, very popular one. Is there can we get links to these demos or remix it?
Yes. Make sure that you signed up for the Luma event, and you're gonna get. We're gonna do a follow-up email, and I'm gonna summarize everything that we talked about. You're gonna get the recording, and you're gonna get all 3 demos to remix and make your own. So have fun with it. And the only thing that I ask is that you remix it, you change something, and you share it, you post about it, and tag me and Francisco. Build mode, modern tech. Isn't that so cool? It's already. Thank you. I have another idea in terms of how I can make this better. But yeah, when I got this to work, and again, this took me less than an hour. When I first saw that image generator, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. We're in a new world.
Some suggestions are beginning to come in here. Can you use brand colors? Great question.
That is a good question. I'm 80% confident, yes. So what I would do is I would add, I would prompt it. Well, let's do it now. Let's do it live. So let me do super here. Can you help me add a new feature where I can incorporate my brand colors? I want to have a segment where I can add my primary colors, maybe some direction in terms of my brand, and then have that pass into the image generator. And here's a helpful tip. Before I would do that, I go into plan mode and to give agent a little bit more time to plan this out and to help me make sure that I'm asking the right thing. So we'll drop that in there. It'll probably take a couple minutes to process it, and we'll just come back to it. But I'm pretty confident you'll be able to incorporate brand colors, because that to me is just a change to the prompt. So it's like, oh, like for this image, make sure that you're using these two primary colors in this way. And my experience with Google Gemini is that it's pretty good at following those prompts. So I'm pretty confident it would work.
Yeah, and we also have like design infrastructure on Replit, where you can kind of like input a lot of the design elements you'd like to have in your apps overall. So yeah, I'm sure within just like design itself on the hats, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Very neat. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, it's so fun. Elizabeth, good to see you. Elizabeth had a great video on LinkedIn recently. Go check that out. Any other questions here, Francisco, that we should be tackling?
Yeah, more. How do I sign up for the event so I can get the summary? I just had a YouTube link. Absolutely. There's a Luma calendar link I'll be dropping in the chat that basically always lets you know what's coming up soon. Manny, are you ready to do a sneak peek of what's coming next week? I think you're one of the ones you're excited for.
Yes. Okay. Pretty pumped about what's happening next week. Okay. So when we launched Agent 3, we added a new build type in agents in automations. So if we go to Replit, I have a couple of different options. I can choose to build a web app, data app, a game, etc. And this one here is agents and automations. And if you see some of the previous live streams that we've done, I built an HR AI agent, a sales AI agent, and then I also built an automation that would scrape all of the most recent AI papers and give me a summary automatically in my inbox. And that automation was time-based. So essentially, it would at 8 a.m. every morning, it would pull all of those papers and give me a summary. And what people have been asking for a lot is to have these triggers, to have this be trigger-based. So essentially, what you can do then is you can have an event that happens outside of a Replit app that sends a message to a Replit app to do the work, and then give you the output that you care about. So an example for me would be like in Notion, if I have a database, and if I have to say like I might have like a CRM in Notion, right, where I'm tracking different prospects, and if I change a prospect to say like, oh, like this person is interested in our new AI integrations feature, I might have a trigger that is sent via webhook to my Replit application to kick off a whole bunch of work. So it might draft an email, it might grab details from my most recent stream, it might grab information, context for me, and notify other people. Maybe it updates Salesforce, maybe it updates HubSpot. You can do so many different things. And so next week, we're going to be talking about trigger-based automations that allow you to kick off Replit applications based on events happening. So you might also have heard this as webhooks or triggers, but I think it's going to open up a lot of possibilities for automations. And I'm also eager to talk more about automations. This is something that we rolled out with Agent 3, and it's newer for Replit, but I think people are really going to love this because it allows you to vibe code complicated automations in Replit, just like I built this ad creator using natural language now I'm going to be able to build complicated automations using natural language. And if you're doing this right now, you know it's kind of a pain. Like if you go into these traditional automation builders, it's a kind of a node based drag and drop type of thing where like, oh, you grab a node, you have to connect it to something else, and then you have to bring in an API key, and then you have to grab another node, you have to parse things. Like, for simple automations, I mean, that's going to work, right? Like if you want to like do a notification to Slack, I think you can still do that. But if you want like complicated automations that do a lot of different things and are also using AI in your automations, this is going to be the way to go. Just trust me from experience. I've been doing automations for a long time. You're going to want to vibe code that, because otherwise it gets super super hairy. You probably have seen like these giant node graphs just connecting everything. It's just painful to watch. And good luck coming back to that like in a week after you build that and trying to figure out what's happening. Super painful. So super excited about that feature. And again, that's going to be next week.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Manny. Yeah, and then I dropped in the Luma calendar link in the chat below. That basically always gets you kind of, upcoming events that are soon to be out, and then also just our past events. So if you ever want to check out a recording, you can always kind of find the information there. I always recommend RSVPing, even if you can't join the event the day of, just because we'll send out a follow-up link with like the various templates, summaries, and also our replay video you can check out.
And one more thing before we log off here, and we'll stick around and answer more of the questions here. We want you to build. Okay, so here's the ask. I want you to build some, your own AI app. I want you to leverage Replit's AI integrations, and I want you to share it on LinkedIn, share it on X, share it on Reddit, and tag me and Francisco. And what we're going to do is we're going to look over some of the better entries, some of the better examples, and we're going to pick 3 of the better examples. And if you're one of them, you're going to get this hat. So you'll get one of the first 3. I have not made these. This is going to be a first edition hat of build mode, and so you're going to get one of these hats if we select your build. And then I think one of if we see like a really good one, Francisco, we might invite him on to the stream next week to show us what they built. So I think that would be kind of cool as well. So again, want you to learn. Absolutely, you're here to get inspiration to learn, but more than anything, I want you to build, because there's no substitute for actually building and doing in terms of learning and growth. And this tool, this skill, this is going to be a must-have skill for everybody moving forward. The mantra is that everybody builds, whether you're in HR, whether you're in sales, whether you're in legal, you all get to build. And so I think this is going to be a must-have skill for everybody moving forward. And I want you to put that into practice, and I want you to be creative and build your own thing, and I want you to share it. So make sure you do that.
Yeah, and please tag us when you do send it out. We'll be keeping an eye out. And then, of course, we'd love to invite more folks onto the stream. We've had previous community members. With Manny, it actually kind of started as a guest, at one point, and then here we are today. So lots of great things to see.
Absolutely. Very neat. Great comments. Build mode. Let's go. That's right. I think that's Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth. Very neat. Just going through the chat. Anything else here, Francisco?
No, those are the main questions. It's just really cool to see all the examples people are dropping in of various things that you've been building, and just kind of all the things that you've been kind of tinkering on. I'd love to see those. Please continue to tag us. And again, always feel free to reach out, via the Luma emails that you get, or even just on socials. I am Francisco Cruz, CRZ, and Manny. I mean, you see us all the time, all over. We're always kind of keeping our DMs open and just keeping an eye out.
Build mode. Yes. When you post about what you build, hashtag build mode. I love it. Let's do that. Very neat. Great. There's just before we log off, a couple of caveats. Again, I mentioned that AI integrations is only available for paid accounts. So if you have a core account, no problem, it's going to happen. If you're on the team account or enterprise account, talk to your administrator first, because you're going to have to turn on a toggle that says that AI integrations is available for you as a team member. So make sure that you do that. And then the third thing is that if for some reason you don't see that prompt that you saw earlier around authorizing the integration, let me show that. Let me show that to you one last time here. So if you don't see this for some reason, then maybe agent didn't pick it up, and you could just say like, I want you to use the Replit managed AI service for Gemini, for Anthropic, for OpenAI, and then it should trigger this prompt for you to authorize that. So those are some of the things that I just wanted to mention in case you have any issues, and if you do, just feel free to ping us over on our forum or on Reddit.
Awesome. And I'll also be dropping in some resources in the chat as well as kind of go along around integrations. So keep an eye out for those. And again, after our stream wraps up, we'll send out an email with a lot more resources and just documentation.
Very cool. All right. Well, Francisco, I'm so pumped about next week. Trigger-based automations. It's going to be so much fun, so much there. And me as sort of a long-term automation builder, I'm really looking forward to that. So the link for that will be out. We'll include it in the follow-up email. Register it for that right away, because then you'll get notifications. And then also, once we wrap up the stream, you'll get the replay right away, and also all the resources and all the templates for you to remix and make it your own.
Absolutely. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that information. People are asking for our socials. I'll be sure to leave them also in our follow-up email. And you can click, I believe, depending on where you are tuning in from, I believe on LinkedIn we're live as well, so you're able to kind of check it out there. I'll be sure to include our tags. And again, anything else that comes along, any requests of where you'd like to see, please let us know. We're always looking for kind of new ideas. And oftentimes, we think we have a schedule down for what we want to work on, and then something new comes along and we really want to explore it together. So always be sure to let us know. I'll also be dropping in some links for the discourse. I dropped it in the chat as well. If you want to join a community of other just true builders, that's a great place to start. And of course, any other feedback that you have, we're always listening. Thank you so much for joining. It's been an absolute blast to be here with you again today. And again, big shout out to all the returning folks. Braemar, Cognito Coding, Elizabeth. I know there's a lot more, but those are the ones I kind of been seeing jumping in the chat. We sincerely appreciate it. And really, the main reason is to kind of, to showcase, obviously the great things that are being built and features and just new releases, but really it's about the community and being able to kind of connect with you all. So I'm very excited to be here with you. And thanks again for just sticking around, Amy, Zangle. Really, really great to have you all here again today.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you, everybody.